What's going on, guys, and welcome back to episode number 29 now of the Leeds United career mode, and welcome to season 2 in the career mode as well, because now we are into season 2 after that last episode where we finished off season 1. I showed you guys the squad report after that one, showed you guys what we've done in the season. We obviously have won the FA Cup and we've managed to win the playoffs as well, meaning we're in the Premier League for this season. Not only that, we are in Europe as well, which at the time of recording this I didn't realise. As you can see, coming up we've got a Community Shield game, but before that we will have the pre-season tour in which we'll be making some funds out of it. So won't be playing any of the pre-season games, but I will be simming them, and if we can get through the final and win it, it'll be giving us a nice bit of money. A number of players arriving on pre-contracts. You'll see what those overall ratings of those players are in just a second here as I show you the squad report as we see them all coming into the club. Got a number of players as well that will be transfer listed. You'll also see that just in a second as well when I show you that list as well. But as you can see, going into this, I'll show you the squad report as to the players that we've got. Stevanovic came in on a pre-contract. He's a 71 overall goalkeeper at 29 years of age. Kalash as well from Fulham at 74 rated, so he's very nice to see as well. A 74 rated player coming in. Mano at left back as well. Obviously, we knew he was 72 from last season, 30 years of age though. De Siglio, one of the bigger names, coming in on a pre-contract, 78 rated already, so it's nice to see we've got a 78 rated player alongside Joel Green as well, who I think is 78 rated. Felipe Augusto was the defensive midfielder that I was talking about in the last episode as well, 74 overall. Vernon Anita in the other centre midfield spot is 75. Costinha as well, very, very fast winger, 74 overall on him. And I do believe there's a couple more to show you as well as we see Alexa will be back from injury. Stuart Dallas will be one of the players that has been sold, that's why I showed you him there. I do believe it's a striker left to go, which it is. It's Kevin Lasanga as well. Very quick, decent finishing forward as well. We're going to need some people to bang in the goals for us this season if we really want to stay in the league. 3-star in terms of skill moves and weak foot. So those are the players that came in on a pre-contract. So there you can see the ratings of each of the players and what we are currently doing. Then we're going to list up a few players that I'm looking at and trying to sell on here, as Rob Green is the top of that list. 37 years old now, 72 overall. He's only going to decrease the rest of this season. So I just thought, you know what? No point me keeping it at the club. I also decided to get rid of Peacock Farrell as well. We only really need 2 goalkeepers here at the club, and one of the goalkeepers that I actually want to sign a new one as well. So decided to get rid of Peacock Farrell there, and we will be looking at bringing in a new goalkeeper this upcoming Premier League season, because I actually thought Stevanovic was going to be better than he was, but he's only 71 rated, so not as good as I was hoping he would be. Louis Coyle also transfer listed as well, as we brought in Kalash, and we obviously have Miguel as well. I don't see the point in keeping Louis Coyle at the club at this current time. I looked at my centre defensive midfielders. I was like, which one do I want to get rid of here? Because I don't want to get rid of Moat. And unfortunately, it was Bridcut who would have to bite the bullet. Although he was good for us last season, I just felt to myself, he didn't perform well in the FA Cup final. We've got Augusto coming into the club, and I really want to see how he will play for us. He looks very good. We've also got Vernon Anita as well. So the only real player out of that one we could have sold was Diarraga or Liam Bridcut. And Diarraga was only worth 600k, so I thought, you know what, we'll just get rid of Bridcut. Diarraga, although he's 30 years of age, could still do a job for us in the cups and stuff like that. We need the squad rotation players. List up Dallas as well. Like I said, he would be leaving the club. Unfortunately, I'm not interested in keeping him. He was not good for us in the Championship, so he's not going to be good in the Premier League. As we also list Jordan Mataka as well after he came back from loan. Dakawa, Irwin, and at this point I was thinking, which one do I get rid of Antonsen, Kamaruf, or Chris Wood? With the fact that we've just got Lasanga into the club, I didn't see it fit needing to have 4 strikers when we play a 4-3-3 anyways. Sometimes we play Kamaruf out wide, so I was looking at this and I was thinking, which one do I list? I looked at Antonsen and I thought, I looked at Kamaruf and I thought, So in the end, I actually went and decided that we were going to get rid of Antonsen. I didn't want to get rid of Chris Wood, just because of the simple fact that I felt he could do a job for us in the Premier League. But also we've got Lasanga as well. So we've got 2 73 rated strikers and we had 2 71. So I went ahead and listed Antonsen instead of Kamaruf. I just decided that Kamaruf would be the better option to keep on here at Leeds, as we needed the pace up front in order to get a few goals in this coming season. Training Miguel up alongside Joel Green, trying to get him to an 80 rated winger. If we could reach Joel Green to an 80 rated winger, that would be absolutely amazing as we went into this upcoming Premier League season. Sim, the first game here in the pre-season tour in which we take on Young Boys. It's pretty much a starting 11 side that I decided to name just to see how we get on in this one. Took the lead early on through Kamaruf in the first minute of the game, striking to give us a 1-0 lead. I do believe we end up winning this by 2-1. I'm pretty sure we end up winning it 2-1 as Chris Wood makes it 2-1 there. It could even be 3-1. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, as they equalise or get a goal back rather in the 45th minute of the game to make it 2-1. De Siglio came on as well for his debut, kind of. It's not his professional debut, but it's his pre-season debut for us, as Joel Green would get a third goal to make it 3-1, and we won the game by 3-1. So picking up a victory in our first pre-season tour game means that we've got 3 points already in the group. So if we do want to get, I think this was worth about 4 million to us. So if we manage to win this competition, we get an extra 4 million in the transfer kick. So I was looking to do that, but at the same time, I wasn't interested in playing them, as we did have an offer here for Marcus Antonsen. Decided to go ahead and ask for £2 million instead of the 1.6 that Birmingham offered us, because I did feel he was worth 2 million after the season he had last season. He'll be good in the Championship for Birmingham if he does in fact leave leave the club, he will be doing a good job for Birmingham. And as you can see, the budget we've got currently at Leeds United in the Premier League is only £6 million, which is nowhere near enough as to what I was hoping that we'd get here at Leeds. I did consider buying the, what do you call it, the takeover, but in the end I decided against it and decided that, you know what, we'll just make it interesting for ourselves, see what we can do, if we can do anything with our £6 million budget that we have here. Alban Lafont, guys, is a goalkeeper that I've spoke about before on the channel. I actually made a squad builder around him when he got his inform card on the Ultimate Team. So I looked at him and I was thinking, you know what, as in terms of a goalkeeper, he's one of the ones I want to bring in. And you can see a number of the players that I'm getting rid of out of the shortlist from last season, and a number of the players that I'm looking at for this season upcoming. There's a number of young players here from big name teams. Obviously, it was going to be a bit more difficult to get them in, obviously, if they're playing at a better side than what we are currently. But Zoa was one of the guys I was really wanting to get into the club. But this guy was at the top of my list, Anwar El Ghazi. He normally plays for Ajax, but he ended up going to Middlesbrough in this save. So Middlesbrough got relegated last season into the Championship. He's down in the Championship playing his football there, 77 overall. He's 4-star, 4-star. I was looking at it and I was thinking we could play him up front, you know. And I did want to try and bring him in. But when I inquired about him, Middlesbrough said basically along the lines of, you're not getting any chance at signing this player, as they weren't interested in selling him to us. So I was very disappointed to see the fact that he's already transferred to Middlesbrough. I was hoping to pick him up for around 7 million is what I think Middlesbrough paid for him when he came from Ajax. Would have been nice for us to be able to try and sign him, and if we'd have been able to do it, I would have been very happy with myself. But unfortunately, it means that we will have to wait to sign Anwar Al Ghazi, or Al Ghazi, is he called? I can't quite remember his name off the top of my head, but he looks very good and I wanted to try and sign him, but like I said, Middlesbrough just had none of it when I inquired about him. Went into the second pre-season game against Angers here, and we do draw it 0-0 in this one, so picking up a point into the league performance, so it means that now we need to win our final game to go through, and will ensure that we go through and play for that big prize money of a whole £4 million, which isn't that much when you consider the fact that a lot of these players are going for ridiculous money right now, so I did have to look at this and sort of make my decisions in terms of the players I was going to name. I think I pretty much named the starting 11 for each of these pre-season games. I don't think I actually switched the team around because of the simple fact that I couldn't be bothered, which is so lazy. But at the same time, if he'd picked up injuries, I would have been a bit disappointed with myself. And we got to do a bit of training here, obviously, trying to get Joel Green into that 80 rated ways, like I said a bit earlier on. I think he hits 78 by the end of this episode. I could be wrong, actually. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. We have a number of training sessions to go, obviously, with it being pre-season, and we sim the games. It means that we're going to get a fast growth out of the players. Birmingham City, came back and said that the 2 million we counter-offered for Antonsen was too much for them, and they were prepared to give us 1.8. So in the end, we decided to accept that £1.8 million offer and say you can take Antonsen off our hands. He will do a good job down there for Birmingham. I was sort of disappointed in the fact that we had to sell him, but at the same time, did I really need 4 strikers at the club? Probably not. So that's the only reason I decided to get rid of him. Made an inquiry into 2 players there. As you can see, one of them being Lafont. They said they wanted £8 million for the highly rated goalkeeper. And they said they wanted £9 million for Luis Hernandez, who is the centre-back that we're looking at getting from Atletico Madrid. 21 or 22 years of age. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. And he looks to be very good in this one. He's only 6'1" though, so not the tallest of centre-backs, but in terms of the centre-backs that I'm looking at bringing into the club, he was one of the ones that I was actually looking at and thinking to myself, I actually genuinely want to bring him in. He's only 78 rated, yeah, I think he is at the moment, but he has the potential to grow and get into the high 80s. So I was looking at that and I was thinking, yes, this is a player that I want to try and bring in. By the way, I haven't used any sort of way of looking at the potentials. I just assume that he's going to have high potential with the fact that he's only 22 at the moment and he's currently 77 or 78 overall. I didn't use a website for any of this. I don't know what the potential of Lafont is. I don't know what the potential of Hernandez is. I didn't really want to know either, so I just wanted to make it a bit more interesting about myself not knowing the potentials of the players. I just decided that it'd be a bit more interesting if I didn't know it, so that's the only reason I haven't checked them both out. Maybe I'll look at it in a few years' time when we check out once they're in the higher 80s, possibly, so after you saw there, we won the game by 3-0 in that one. Go into the semi-final now against Standard Liège here. Pretty much the same side. Like I said, we don't make many changes. The only reason why is because I'm lazy, and we could have easily picked up an injury here. Very bad decision by me to not change the side around, as a number of the players were very unfit going into this one. But I decided not to do it anyway, just because I simply couldn't be bothered. And you're going to see as well, we do in fact beat Standard Liège, I do believe here. I think we beat them on penalties in the end, as Moat comes off the bench there for Hernandez. Baradi gets booked in the 54th minute. I do believe it goes to penalties, and we do win on penalties. Lasanga comes on for his debut as well, instead of Joel Green coming off. I'm looking forward to seeing how Lasanga gets on as well at the club. He's made his debut there. But when we actually signed him, I was looking at it and I didn't realise he was as quick as he was. He's also got decent finishing as well, and he's a decent height. So I really do look forward to seeing how Lasanga's going to get on in the Premier League, see if he can beat our talisman up front. We've obviously got Chris Wood and Kamar Roof as well to go with in terms of scoring goals. Neither of them really hit the heights, though, in the Championship, so I'm not expecting them to hit ridiculous amounts of goals in the Premier League. I'm just sort of looking at the rest of the players, and it's going to be scrapey 1-0 wins if we're just going to try and stay up in this division. But Liam Bridcut accepted an offer here for £3.3 million from Palace for the central midfielder. Decided to get rid of him like I said, the only reason why was because he didn't have that greatest back end to the season for us, and I couldn't sell any of the other players, and I didn't want to really get rid of Diarraga because he wasn't worth too much money to us. So played against Oviedo in the final of the Cup here as well. Michu is in the side for them as well. I don't know if you remember the Michu of Swansea days. He's actually back here playing against an English side as Berardi makes it 1-0 for us in the 22nd minute of this game. The right back scoring in the pre-season talk for the first time, I do believe, as we were leading Oviedo by a goal to nil here, looking at getting the victory. Like I said, if we got the victory, it meant we had an extra £4 million to spend on players, which is always a bonus. If you can win the game, the Saka comes off the bench to make it 2-0. And then it's a bonus because you get an extra bit of money to spend for your club, which is very, very nice to have in the kitty. And as you can see there, 2-0 victory meant we did get the extra £4 million that I was looking at bringing in. So we've got a transfer offer for Louis Coyle. You're going to see I accept it as well. Pretty much accepting most of the deals that we get for these players. I'm not really interested in keeping them at the club. Apologies if you can hear that. That's fireworks going off in the background. I live in an area which is very, very, very annoying because I live in like pretty much the areas that, you know, you sort of get the likes of parks and stuff nearby, and you know, get the use. They'll enjoy just setting off fireworks for no apparent reason other than the fact of just being arseholes. On top of that as well, some of it sometimes sounds like explosions. It's crazy, man. Yesterday I was like up at like 1 o'clock editing videos and stuff, and at the time pretty much all I could hear was like the sound of explosions. It wasn't explosions, it was like fireworks and stuff, but yeah, it's just annoying as hell to live in an area where this sort of goes on a regular basis as well, because if you guys can hear it on the mic, it's going to really frustrate me, but at the end of the day, there's nothing I can do about it. But as you can see there, we had a transfer offer accepted here for Lucas Hernandez, not Lewis, sorry, Lucas. 77 rated centre-back, highly rated by me, not so highly rated by Atletico Madrid, as they were prepared to let him go for $7.5 million. 21 years old, I was very happy with that deal. 30,500 out of the wage budget for this upcoming season. Very happy to get him into the club, though. I can't stress it enough. I was really excited at this signing. I looked at it and thought, you know what? We've got a solid centre-back. We obviously lost Janssen after he went back to his parent club after he was only on loan here at Leeds United, but it meant we got Lucas Hernandez, and he stopped saying Lewis, in his place. So now we have two Hernandezes playing for us and in the Leeds United kit, as we made an offer for Alban Lafont there as well. 6'4", highly rated young man in Toulouse. He's obviously one of the higher rated players that they have available to them, and he was a crucial first team player there. So I was thinking to myself, we may have to offer him a little bit more in terms of what we're prepared to give him in terms of a contract to price him away from a first team football space, because he would definitely be our first team goalkeeper if he came into Leeds United, but obviously he might not think that, as we do have 3 other goalkeepers at the club currently in terms of Rob Green, Silvestri, and obviously the Stefanovic, who came in on a pre-contract, as we did a bit more training here. Sorry for no gameplay in the episode. It's literally been the fact that I don't enjoy playing the pre-season tour, so I decided to just sim it anyways, and I hope you've enjoyed listening to me basically babble on for the last 15 or so minutes, because that's what I've done. Basically, I haven't really done too much in terms of that. I've just explained what's going on and my thought process behind it. The font here, as you can see, I've got the offer accepted, made a contract offer of £10,000, gave him a 5-year deal, and I choose to put it to important just in case he didn't start performing, the 18-year-old here, and we had to sort of sub in one of our more experienced goalkeepers. But you can see we had an offer here for Alex Iwobi as well at £4 million. We actually only paid 1.7, so if we were to sell him there, we make a tidy profit on the young man. But I was not prepared to sell him. He's going to be one of the more important players. Obviously, has that Premier League experience when he was here at Arsenal. We need that experience going into this next season coming up here. Accept an offer here for Jordan Bataka of £900,000. You're going to be seeing as well. We have a Community Shield game coming up against Chelsea, which will be in the next episode, which I've been very looking forward to playing. Seeing how we get on back at Wembley so soon. Contract offer accepted by Lafont just before we went into this game against Chelsea here. That game will be coming up in the next episode, like I said, though, because I don't want to play it in this one. It'll be about a 20-minute episode, which is just way too long for me to be able to talk for, especially when my throat's hurting as much as this. But hopefully you've enjoyed this first episode of Season 2. If you have, please smash that like button. Sorry about no gameplay in the episode. Like I said, I just don't enjoy playing the pre-season tour bit, so there's actually no point in me doing it if I don't enjoy it. We made 2 signings in this episode, Lafont and Hernandez, both coming into the club. Very excited to see how those two get on here at Leeds United. Other than that, hope you enjoyed, and I'm out. Adios.